Hey, what's up, guys? DJ lavfi here, and I have got something big, huge. Have you heard of track matte stinger transitions available in OBS version 27? Let me give you a quick example of what it looks like. What it does is it transitions your scene to another scene while having both still on the screen at the same time. So check this out. Look at that. So in the bottom right, you're still going to get this scene, and then the new scene is going to swipe in from the left. One more time. Oh, this is hot. This is hot. This is hot. And why is this hot? I'm glad you asked, because I just created what you're looking at all inside of OBS. That's right. There's no need for After Effects, no need for a DaVinci Resolve. All we're using is OBS, the Move Transition Filter made by Exeldro, and I'm also using a program called FFmpeg, all free, all easy to use. I'm going to give you the code that I use to make everything work, and I'm going to show you step by step how we do this. So let's go dive into it. Here we go, tutorial mode, baby. All right, so like I said, the links are all going to be in the description, as well as the code that we're using to make this whole thing happen. First thing you need is OBS version 27. Best of all, this is going to work for anything. If you've got Windows, if you've got Apple, if you've got Linux. I'm going to be showing you on a Windows program, which means I'm using a program called Noob's Commander to help with the recording. You're going to see that later on of how to make the recording really work, but this is just so awesome that you can do this all inside the program. So go get version 27 if you don't already have it. The next thing you're going to need is the Move Transition. I'm using this one right here by Exeldro, 2.4.4. When you click on the download button, you'll see that it's available for Windows, Mac, and Linux. All right, the next thing we need is FFmpeg. If you guys have any problems installing FFmpeg, then let me know and I'll make a video on how to install it. It's pretty straightforward. For Windows, for example, you just click right here on the build, and it's going to come out as a 7. You need the 7-zip to unzip it and to install it. Once you install it, it's not actually a program. It just all works within command line, and we're going to dive into this. This is going to be so cool, and it's so easy, and you guys are just going to absolutely love it. So here we go. Going to open up OBS. This is a separate version of OBS, and what we are going to do is we are going to first and foremost create our stinger and our track matte transition at the same time. So we have a new scene down here. I'm just going to rename this one. This is going to be called the Stinger Creator, called the Stinger Creator. So the first thing you're going to do is click the plus button down here under Sources, and we are going to add something called a Chroma Key. The Chroma Key is going to be a color source. We're going to call this green. We're basically creating a digital green screen to make this whole thing work. I'm going to select the color, and the color we are going to select right here, just write it in. It's in the hex 00FF00. It's going to be this green. That hex code is going to be very important later on in this tutorial. Click OK, and we're going to click OK. All right, so now we have a clear background. So let's add our logo. Our logo is going to go in the middle for now, and then we're going to move things around. This could be any picture that you have whatsoever. I'm just going to select an image. This is going to be called my logo, and it's a PNG file. I believe I put it on my desktop. I believe I did. Let's go and see. It's on my desktop. Track matte. There we go. Old logo. There we go. Perfect. And we say, okay, that's right. Represent New Jersey to the fullest, All right, so I want this thing to take up the entire screen in the middle. So I'm just going to do this right here. Just going to make it, relatively good size right there. And Control D is going to make it in the center of the screen. So now that we have that one set up, the next thing I want to do, if you guys don't know about this little trick, it's up here. It's preview scaling, and I have mine set to canvas. My canvas is 1920 by 1080. That's what I'm working off of. When preview scaling is selected, if you click anywhere over here, hold the space bar down and use the mouse wheel, you can zoom in and out, kind of get a full size of your screen, okay? The next piece we need is our track matte, which this will make sense in a moment. It's going to be another color source. The color source is going to be white. I'm going to hit enter. Now, select the color. Here was one of my biggest problems. It looks white, right? But it's actually not. You see in the HTML code, the hex code down here, it's not white. You need to put in 6 Fs. F, 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 F. That one took me a minute. All right, click OK there. Now click OK. We're just going to layer the white source behind the logo. I'm going to zoom out again for you. And I need to make this larger. This white piece right here. And I'm going to now center it so it's about in the center of my screen. When we eventually do the recording of this, anything that's white will be one scene, and anything that's going to be black will be another scene. So make sure you kind of pick where you want to piece this this track mat over. All right, so now that we have that all pieced together, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on logo, and I'm going to shift and click on white. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to say group. This way, when we're doing this grouping right now, it's going to ask you what you want to call it. We're just going to call it group. When you do the grouping, you're going to see in a second, when I do my recording of this, you're going to be able to have everything in sync, and it's going to be beautiful. So, right-click on the scene. Right-click on the scene, Stinger Creator, and we're going to say Filters. Click the plus button, and we're going to do Move Source. Move Source. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say Group Left. This is just going to set it up on the left. So I'm going to move this out of the way over here, and I'm going to drag this on over to the left. And then all you got to do here is click Get Transform. All right. Now, on that filter that you just created, right-click, say Duplicate, and we're going to move the group to the right. Right. Say OK. Oh, you know what I did? You have to make sure that you actually select the group. So the group is selected here for left, group, and we're going to say Get Transform. The group has to be selected. Make sure you select your source here. Now I'm going to go back to group right, and I'm going to say group, and I want to drag this across the screen so that my logo is now off the screen. It's going to be off the screen right there. I want this this whole animation to take 2 seconds, so we're going to say 2000 for the duration. And you can toy with a bunch of different things in here. Ease in, ease out. You can do, you can change the easing function. You can change the rotation. This is just to give you an idea of how this whole thing works, and hopefully you guys can make this magic happen. So we're going to say Get Transform there. So I'm going to send it to the left. And now we're going to send it to the right. Beautiful. All right, bring it back to the left one more time. And the first thing that we're going to record is just the logo. So if you go down to this group and we just uncheck the eyeball next to the white source, it's no longer going to be seen. So if I go back into filters, we're going to go and look at this. I'll show you. Now I'm going to say go to the right, and it should be just the logo. Just the logo. This is our Stinger transition portion of this entire thing. And if I click the white again, you're going to see that it is, now the white is with it. All right, send it back to the left. Now, this next step that we're going to do to record, I'm using a program called Noobs Commander. Free open source software, only works on Windows. Nutty put this program out. You could use a Stream Deck. You could use Touch Portal. You can use BitFocus Companion. This is just to get the recordings exactly the same. You could also try to line it up with your mouse, clicking left and right and doing all this, but this is the way that I do it, so I'm going to share with you all how I get it done. So I'm going to open up Noobs Commander. Noobs Commander is open. So you got to tell it what you want to do. Noobs Commander just creates a macro. That's all it's going to do. So we click on Record. I'm going to say Start Recording, and then I want it to activate the filter. So Show Filter for the Stinger Creator scene, and we want the group to go to the right. We know that this takes about 2 seconds because that's the length of our transition that we did. And then I'm going to go record, and I'm going to say stop recording. And then as a nice little final touch, we're going to add one more filter to send it back over to the left. So Stinger Creator, and I'm going to send my group to the left. I'll add a small delay in between the stop recording to make sure that it takes its time to get back, and we don't misrecord anything. So you don't even have to export this command. You don't even have to export it. All you have to do is click Test Command, and you're going to notice down here in the bottom right, Start Recording is going to click. The motion is going to happen, and then Stop Recording is going to happen. So ready? Check it out. Test Command. And there we go. And it stopped recording. Perfect. So we just got our recording for our stinger transition. Now let's do our track mat. Don't have to change anything inside of Noob's Commander. That's the cool part here. All I need to do is activate the white, deactivate the logo, and deactivate the green. Now I have just a completely black background. Open up Noob's Commander one more time, and we're going to say test command. And you're going to see our track mat come across the screen. Now these both are recorded. They're recorded for me as .mkv files, and I don't need to remux them yet. That's going to be in the next step. All right, the next step. So let's, we've got two recordings exactly the same. We've created our track mat and we created our stinger. So the next part gets a little bit interesting. What we are going to do is I'm going to recommend that you go to Profile and create a new profile. This profile is going to be, because you have to end up recording a video that is twice the width but the same height. So the width is going to be 3840, which is 1920 times 2, and it's going to be by 1080. I'm just calling this profile that so you guys see this number one time, and I'm going to show it to you again. So we're going to click OK. And I'll just say I'll only be using this for the virtual camera and apply settings. All right, so now that we are in this new profile, we're in the new profile right now. You can tell that by the top. When we look up here, it says 3840 by 1080. So we are in the new profile, but our canvas size hasn't changed yet because we have to manually do that. Go to the bottom right and click on Settings. In Settings, go to Video, and then right here in Base Canvas Resolution, I want you to change the first number to 3840. And then in the output resolution, we're going to do it the same, 3840 by 1080. And just for giggles and whatever, we'll make it 60 frames per second. This can be whatever you want. We're going to say OK. Now, when we do this, you see that everything just, boom. It's huge now, right? This is what the track mat does. It takes your stinger from the left side of the screen, and then it takes your track mat from the right side of the screen, and it merges them together in your eventual scene. So I'm going to have you now in this new profile. We're going to create a new scene, and the new scene is going to be called Track Mat Creator, and say Enter. So what do we need for this? Well, on the left-hand side, we need the stinger transition, and on the right-hand side, we need the track mat. But because we want the stinger on the left to be transparent, I'm going to add that same color source, that green color source. Click here for color source, and we're going to say Add Existing. We're going to say green, and we say OK. So that is on the left-hand side of the screen. We're going to add two more sources into here. The first one is going to be a media source. We're going to add the stinger transition. So we'll call this the stinger video. And if you guys recall, we recorded the stinger video first. So the stinger video, when I go to my video files where it saves locally, you guys can change this wherever you want. The stinger one was recorded first. There it is right there. We say open, and we'll say OK. So now what just came on the screen? It is the stinger transition right there. So that is what we had just created. So now let's go and add the track mat. Come on down here into sources, click the plus button. If you guys are digging this, like, subscribe. If you sponsor the channel, then I'm going to be giving away free track mats to all of the sponsors. I'm going to start creating a whole bunch of these now that I found an easy way to do it. But in the meantime, I'm showing you guys how to do it yourself as well. So now let's go and add our track mat in here. Say open. I'm going to zoom out and say OK. And you'll see that it's on the left-hand side. We need to move our track mat to the... Nope, that's the green screen. Come on, track mat. Track mat is right. Come on, track mat. There we go. So we drug it. Properties. You got to loop it. That way it'll keep on showing up on the screen. And then make sure you go into properties and unloop it. Unloop that file. And we'll say OK. All right. So it is unlooped. We are not showing it now. So what's going to end up happening with Noob's Commander is we're going to fire off the stinger transition and the track mat at the same time, record the file, and then we're going to take that file and run it through FFmpeg with some code that I tested a whole lot to get everything correct. You're going to notice in my logo right here, I have green in it. The green still shows up. Just to give you an idea again, this all still shows up. You see that the green with inside that track mat. It's wonderful. I'm so excited about this. So excited. Okay, so here we go. The last step. The last step is to, well, not the last step. One of the last steps. Open up Noob's Commander again. So Noob's Commander, of course, we want to set up the recording. So we're going to say start recording. And then this time, instead of filters, we're going to activate a source. So click the down arrow. We're going to say show source for track mat creator. We want to show the Stinger video. Right click, duplicate, and then I want to show the track mat. And then the delay, we're going to do at 1950, just a hair shy of what it all was earlier. I think that actually is a sweet spot for what we're trying to do. And then I'm going to hit record again, and I'm going to say stop recording, okay? First quick check is that our Stinger video is good. None of the sources are showing. So without further ado, we click test command. And there you have it. So we just recorded our video. Now, one last step before we get to FFmpeg, there is this one final step. File, you're going to remux the recording. What this is going to do, it's going to take your recording and change it from a .mkv to an MP4 file. So we click this little arrow here. I'm going to select the video that we just did, say open. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click this here, and I'm going to put this on my desktop. And on my desktop, I'm going to call it tm.mov. Something I've just been working with right here. It's going to say there's already a file there. That's fine. Finally, click Remux and say yes. Recording has been remuxed. Okay. So you've done the hard part. You've created the Stinger transition. You have remuxed it, and that is, we are 17 minutes in right now with a slow-moving tutorial. All right, so finally, this code is in it's going to be inside the description of this video. What you have to do is wherever you saved your MP4, the one that you just created, that's going to go right here. I saved mine on my desktop. I saved it as tm.mov. Now, to go over what all this stuff means, right now we are using a Chroma Key filter inside of FFmpeg. The first 0x is saying we're going to make transparent 00FF00. If you choose to do a different color background like black, which would be 000000, or you make your background white, which would be FFFFF, then just change it right here. I'm using this green color. That's why I said remember that hex that we did earlier. That's going in right here. And then the next item right now is the similarity. So this could be a number between 0 and 1. 0.01 is the exact color. I was having some issues with that, so I tried it up to 0.09, and it works. So that's what I'm going to show you right here. And then your output is where do you want to output this file to. Name the path and the directory, and then we're going to say Control A. I'm going to copy this, and we're going to open up Command Prompt. So now that my Command Prompt is open, all you got to do is paste it in here, Control V, and hit Enter. Now, I already have this file. It's going to ask me if I want to overwrite it. I'm going to say yes, Enter, and bliggity splat, we now have just created a transparent on the left, and our track mat is good to go on the right. How do I demonstrate this to you? Well, I'm glad you asked. I already have this set up. I'm just going to change my profile over here to Stinger. I'm going to change my scene collection to Stinger, and we've got a scene 1 and a scene 2. I'm going to click this is how you actually add it. We're going to add a new one. So I'm going to click down here, and we're going to say Add Stinger. And I'm going to call this Track Mat. Enter. And we're going to find the file first, that tm.mov file that we just created. I'm going to say Open. I'm going to click the Use as a Track Mat. And then if you want to see it before it kicks off, just use Preview Transition. And there you go. That's it. We just created a track mat inside of OBS with a hint of FFmpeg. We're going to say OK. And now when I switch between scene 1 and I go to scene 2 and I go back to scene 1, you're going to see how it keeps both scenes in there, right? It's just truly, truly amazing. Amazing, awesome. Little hiccup. Here we go. Back to 1. That's it. 20 minutes, and you now learn how to make a track mat inside of OBS using FFmpeg and Noob's Commander for me. You can use a Stream Deck. You can use Touch Portal, like I said earlier. If you guys want to see videos on that, then definitely let me know. We can do that. Did I take it off of here? Did I take it off? Where did it go? Oh, I rewrote the file. I rewrote the file that I was using for here. Here we go. We're going to change it back to, there we go, tm.mov. All right, and we say OK. And we are back to golden. Back to golden. All right, cool. And again, I want to thank all of my sponsors. We got the VIP lounge up in the top left. You guys are the teamwork that makes the dream work. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what creative ideas you guys are doing with this. Again, OBS version 27, move, source, transition, filter, FFmpeg, ready, set, go. You now have this awesomeness right there. This is so cool. This is amazing. This is exactly what I wanted. Bringing in the horns. Oh, gotta make sure my voice meter is correct. Bring in the horns. There we go. I'm DJ LaFave. Like and subscribe. Follow the channel. I go live all the time, and I do stuff just like this. I teach outside of the box creations that just are fun, and they're going to enhance your live streams 110%. This same idea can also work to create animated overlays for your streams. Those videos are coming. Again, I'm super stoked about this. I'm already rambling on. 22 minutes. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Leave a comment. I want to know where you guys are tuning in from. I'm DJ LaFave. Hope you loved it. Out!